Hey guys, this is Mrs. Smith. Sorry I couldn't be there today, but I'm not feeling very well, so I'm going to have a sub for a few days. I wanted to go over the schedule with you so you kind of know what to expect. Hopefully you guys have finished your morning work. You can go ahead and put it away, and we'll go over it together when I get back on Thursday. Okay, make sure you're being respectful to the sub and helpful as our subs need help, okay? We're going to start with Typing Club today, give you guys a little bit of a brain break, and just be aware that while I'm not there, I still get to use GoGuardian from my house. So make sure you're using the programs on the computer appropriately. It would be unfortunate if I had to call the school and say that somebody was not on Typing Club when they were supposed to. I can send you a little message, say hi, okay, but just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to when you have a computer. Help the sub pass out computers, collect computers, and get the headphones as needed, okay? When you're done with Typing Club, I want you to turn this video back on because I'm going to give you instructions about science. Okay, it's time for science now. So what I need you to do is I need you to get out your science notebooks. Okay, get out your science notebook. If you need to pause this for a second so you can get it out, I'm going to go ahead and start. What I want you to write on a new page in your book is, where is water? That's our question for today. Where is water? And what I want you to do is I want you to make a list in your notebooks of where we find water on Earth. Go beyond like the grocery store or the drinking fountain, but really think about where we would find water. Go ahead and take 3 to 5 minutes to do so. Okay, now you guys should have taken time to write. I want you to turn to your neighbor and share your ideas of where you think water is. Okay, pause me if you need more time, but go ahead and share with the class now, again, where you think water is. And see if these are some of the things you guys have mentioned yet. Okay, before you look at my list, make sure you've all talked about where you find water. Assuming you have, here's some that I thought of. Glaciers, oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, underground, clouds, air, hail, rain, and reservoirs. That was the last picture. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to write next to our bodies of water where we find water the state it is in, meaning is it a solid, liquid, or gas where it resides. So take a minute and go ahead and do that. Okay. Where is their state of matter? Glaciers are solid. Oceans are liquid. Lake is liquid. Rivers liquid. Streams are liquid. Undergrounds can be liquid or a solid. Clouds are gas. Air is gas. Hail is a solid. Rain is a liquid. Reservoirs liquid usually. They don't usually freeze up. Sometimes they may have ice. Okay. Now your next activity is to read the article that the sub's going to pass out and make sure you answer the questions on the article. If you finish before 9:30, go ahead and work on the crossword on the back. But at 9:30, I want you guys to transition to math. Okay, so it is time for math now. Everybody should have a decimal operations note page in front of them. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, this should be a review. I'm hoping that this is a review. But we're going to talk about adding and subtracting decimals. Okay. Miss Mui is reviewing how to add and subtract whole numbers with her students. Help Miss Mui by solving the problems below. So I want you guys to take a second and see if you can remember how to appropriately solve these 3 below. Pause as needed. Okay, let's see how we did. 6 take away 3 is 3. Good. 5 take away 3 is 2. And 4 take away 2 is 2. Okay. On this one, 9 plus, this is an addition one, 5 is 14. So remember, we dropped our ones place, our 4, and carry our 1, which is our tens. Now I can choose 1 plus 7, which is 8, plus 4, and do 12, or I could do 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Either way, we can add in whatever order we want, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. And over here, we have 6 take away 9. Well, unfortunately, we can't do that, so we borrow from our 2 and add 10 to our 16 to make it a 16. So 16 take away 9 now is 7. 1 take away 8. Well, if I have one thing, I can't take away 8, so again, I have to borrow. I make that a 2, and I add 10. So 11 take away 8 is 3. And then 2 take away nothing is 2. Good. Okay, now I'm coming down here. It says describe the process you use to add and subtract the numbers. Well, we should say things like we went from right to left. Okay. Other things is we carried to the left, meaning I carried a tens place to the left, and we borrowed from the left. Okay. How would this process apply to adding and subtracting decimals? It would be the same process, just adding a decimal somewhere. So we're going to make sure we know where to put that decimal today. Okay, if I go too fast ever, just pause me. All right. When we are adding and subtracting decimals, we line up the decimals based on their value, meaning that if it's a tens place, it lines up with the tens place. If it's a hundredths place, it lines up with the hundredths place. Okay. We include any missing zeros, meaning if I need to put a 0 somewhere that is a placeholder, we're going to put that in. And then we add or subtract like place values. So here's some grid to help keep us organized as we review this. But I have 397. Notice there's no decimal here. If there's no decimal, we know that the decimal comes behind the last number. So that would tell me the 9 goes here, the 7 goes here, and the 3 goes there. Okay. This also tells me that the 4 is going to go here, and the 5 goes here. Now for a question like this where there are no decimals, we don't have to put anything in, but just for practice, I'm going to put in a 0 in the end. Okay. In this question, it is a subtracting question, so I'm going to remind myself and put a little minus out front. So I say 0 take away 0 is 0. Done. 9 take away 4 is 5. 7 take away 5 is 2. And 3 take away nothing is 3. Just like I subtracted up here from right to left, I'm going to subtract down here from right to left. The only thing is, because I have my decimals in a line, they also get to come straight down. Okay. Let's set up this one. 37.9 take away 5.4. So I'm going to start, I have a decimal, and then my 9 comes after the decimal, it's the first digit. And then before that, I have a 7, and before that, I have a 3. On this one, 5.4, so after my decimal is a 4, and before my decimal is a 5. Realistically, you can fill those in any order you want. I'm going to remind myself that I'm subtracting. If we want to, we can put zeros over here. Remember, we're always welcome to add a 0 after a decimal. Does not change its value. So here we go. 0 take away 0 is 0. 9 take away 4 is 5. 7 take away 5 is 2. And 3 take away nothing is 3. Ooh, do you guys notice anything from this problem to this problem? Any similarities? Okay, why don't you guys set up the last one, pause me for a second, let everybody have a chance, and then click play when you're all ready to see the answer. All right, here's our answer. 3, 7, 9, 0, 5, 4, 9, oh, and reminding myself takeaway. 9 take away 4 is 5. 7 take away 5 is 2. 3 take away 0 is 3. So we got the same answer 3 times. The only difference was where the decimal place lined up. In this, our decimal made my, instead of 379, 3.79, or 3 and 79 hundredths. Okay. So what patterns? It's the same answer. It just has a decimal in a different place. Okay. They're all the same, except the decimal's just a little bit different each time. Okay, for the next one, what you're going to do is you're going to take a pencil and a paper clip, and what you'll do is you'll put the paper clip end right here and the pencil holding it down, and then you flick the paper clip to spin it. So I'll show you one at a time. So let's say that I got 56 the first time. Oops, a 56. Okay, so spin 1, 56. I'm going to write that down. Spin 2, I got 11.07. Okay, well up here, my decimals always lined up. Down here, I don't see a decimal on the 56. So I need to remember that that's 56.00. And I'm going to add 2 digits here because I see 2 digits after. So I'm going to add them. I'm going to take 56.00, and to that I'm going to add 11.07. Okay, let's go ahead and draw. I'm going to say plus. So 0 plus 7 is 7. 0 plus 0 is 0. Now notice how the decimal comes next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that decimal right down right away. In fact, I'm going to put it in a fancy color. There's my decimal. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 5 plus 1 is 6. So my answer would be 67.07. So if your number does not have a decimal and it is being added to one that does, make sure you add that decimal and make sure they have the same amount of numbers after that decimal. Okay, I want you to try the next 3, making sure you let the substitute help and any helpers in our classroom help you do it. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and unpause me and come to question 5. Okay, question 5, a sandbox measures 2.8 meters by 1.9 meters. How many meters of wood would need to go around the perimeter of the sandbox? So remember that perimeter is this outside edge. Okay, so when I'm talking about perimeter, I'm talking about how much wood do I need to make this specific box. Well, I know that this side is 2.8, which means that down here is also 2.8. And on the side, I know that this is 1.9, so this would also be 1.9. So when I'm solving this, I need to do 2.8 plus 1.9 plus 2.8 plus 1.9. And all of those values come from 2.8 plus 1.9 plus 2.8 plus 1.9. Let's go ahead and add those values up. So before I do anything, I personally am going to drop that decimal. I'm going to bring it down, right there. That way I'm not going to forget it. All right, let's do this. All right, 8 plus 9 is 17. 8 plus 9 is 17. And when I add those up together, I get a 4. And then I end up carrying, I get a 34, so I got to carry the 3 to this side. Okay, now I'm going to add up this side. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. 7, 8, plus 1 more is 9. 9.4 is almost the perfect answer. What do you think we need? Meters. Now, abbreviation for meters is just M. So if you'd like to just put M, that's fine. All right, last one. Put a check by the name of any student who has solved a problem with a solution of 259.16. What I want you to do is I want you to solve each of them individually, check with your neighbor, and then check with me. So go ahead and pause the video. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put the bigger number on top. So I'm going to do 187.49 and 71.67. Okay, whoops. Uh-oh, do you see what happened? My digits didn't line up. So I'm going to scoot that over. That looks a little bit better. Okay, when I solve this one, I get 16, carry my 1. I get 10, 11, carry my 1, bring down my decimal. One decimal. There we go. 1 plus 7 plus 1 is 9. 8 plus 1 is 8 plus 7 is 15. Carry my 1, and we get a 2. So the first one worked. Da, 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 da. All right, we better see if the second one works. You never know. This one we have 861.1 and 601.94. Ooh, I better add a 0 up there. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one too. I gotta borrow. I'm gonna use a different color. Let's use green. Okay, this becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. 10 take away 4 is 6. 0 take away 9, can't do, so we have to borrow. This becomes a 10 again. 10 take away 9 is 1. Everything's looking good. Add our decimal. We gotta borrow again because I can't do 0 take away 1. I have 10 take away 1 is 9. And this is a 5. I know it's messy. 5 take away 0 is 5. And 8 take away 6 is 2. Guess what? This one worked. Da da da. Check, Milton. Woo! Okay, last one. Lily. All right, Lily, here we go. 460 and 211.116. 211.1. Oh no, we better come up here. Add my zeros. Okay, let's do it. Let's take away. On this one, 0 take away 6. Can't do it. Can't borrow. Can't borrow. I got to come all the way over here. This becomes a 10, but then I have to borrow, so it becomes a 9. This becomes a 10, but I have to borrow, so it becomes a 9. And my last one finally gets to be a 10. 10 take away 6 is 4. Well, guess what? If I get this far, my goodness, I recognize that 4 is not going to match up to a 6, so I don't even need to do it. Lily doesn't match. All right, your assignment is to practice this page. And then once you do it, I have an activity on the back for you to work on. It looks like this. Okay, the instructions say find a path across from left to right using only hexagonals that match the starting one. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by solving this first problem right here. Okay, so if I solve that, 4.9 and 17.4. Oh, I better line up my decimals. Okay, I got to figure out what this answer is. So if I solve that, I end up with, let's see, this would be a 13, carry the 1, 7 plus 4 is 11, but there's one more up there, so it's a 12. I know I'm trying to go backwards. And then I carry the 1, and it ends up being 22.3. Your job is to see which of these is 22.3. Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Or is it this one? Okay? And whichever one it is, let's say that the answer matches this one. I'm not saying this is it, but if it did, then I would say, okay, now which one matches from there on out? And your goal is to make a path, however it goes, all the way to the end. So maybe it goes all the way down here, whatever it is. But you got to figure out what is the path to get there. Okay? All right, good job today, guys. I will see you later.